Life is a gift. Every laugh from a child at play, every breeze on a summer day is a hymn. And I know
That was too bad in 2010 for Mackenzie.
Yeah.
when I stop and think about it, it changes everything. I'm further down the road, more and more I know. Do not deserve it, but I receive it. Life is a gift. Every night on the wedding day, every baby conceived reminds me of this. Oh, life is a gift. Every time I think about it, I'm further down the road. When the sun shines bright, I can see it. Oh, 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 life is a gift. When the rain falls down, I can feel it. When the sun shines bright, I believe it. Oh, 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 life is a gift. The more I live, the more I know. I do not deserve it, but I receive it. I'm further down the road. More and more I know. Do not deserve it, but I receive it. Life is a
Alright, first I want to say hi to everybody. And thank you for joining me tonight on my live feed and everything. Some things that come up with my daughter and everything. First of all, the other day, I think it was Thursday, I got served with a protection order. And the protection order, I was sitting there and when the officer came, I didn't even understand what the protection order was or anything, or why I was being served a protection order. And then he told me that I was being served with a protection order. And when I was reading my protection order, it's, you know, a standard protection order of what I'm allowed to do and ain't allowed to do and everything like that. But then when I got back here to the back of what they're requesting on this protection order, and one of the things that they're requesting on this protection order, and I want to read it and make sure everybody understands what I'm being asked to do. If the judge decides that's where it goes. And what they're asking for is that place Donald under a gag order to stop interfering with the investigation of the arson and homicide. Calls for a cease and desist on all social media avenues sharing any information or photos pertaining to the parties involved. First of all, I'm going to fight, and I'm going to fight very hard when I go to court. I go actually to court this Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. in Miami County. And I don't care. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to assist in whatever they call it here. Cease and desist.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Because, first of all, it's my daughter. Mackenzie's my daughter. And I've said this before. I know who's trying to stop me. I know what's going on. And, you know, since a certain person came forward on my last feed and gave information of what happened that night at the fire where my daughter was murdered. Since that happened, automatically this person thought that they could go ahead and shut me down. And that tells me one thing and one thing: they're scared. And that's the truth. They're scared. And I'm getting close to what happened that night and who's involved that night of what happened to my little girl. And I'm going to prove that to the court when I go to court Thursday. I like for everybody to see, like I said, you know, this has been 12 years. All these totes right here are full of every time I've investigated, went out, did my homework on what happened to my little girl that night. And these are all full. I've got this here, this tote full. I've got tapes recording. This brown one here, right here, is full. I've got photos. You can see my desk is filled with stuff. I've got, this is the investigation of my daughter, Mackenzie Taylor Branham. These are photos and stuff that I put up on my wall in my home. Nobody pays my bills. Nobody pays my rent. And ain't nobody gonna tell me I can't post whatever I want to post. Not only on Facebook, but also on my wall in my home. Now, what I did over here is, this is Death of Mackenzie. And obviously Bonnie and Clyde are the ones that put the CPO order on me to shut down Mackenzie's investigation. And because somebody came forward that's related, they were able to.
You're fine.
They were able to try to shut it down and not let people know the truth about what happened to my daughter. And I can tell you right now, these two people are involved in my fire and my daughter's death. And I'm going to prove it. And I think when I'm done Thursday, that judge is going to understand exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I'm going to do what I'm going to do and keep moving forward with my daughter's investigation. Now, this is Wilbert. And Wilbert knows about the fire. Wilbert has no alibis. And Wilbert failed the lie detector test twice. So I'm going to go after Wilbert. And I'm going to prove that these three things are the truth. And I'm like I said, I know for a fact I'm there with what happened right here. Okay? And I'm going to go after Bonnie and Clyde, since, to me, what it seems like to me that Bonnie and Clyde's doing is they're trying to keep the truth from coming out to you guys. Huh?
Sarah's trying to stay on camera.
So, Bonnie and Clyde, like I said, Bonnie and Clyde put a CPO order on me to seize and desist the investigation of my daughter, Mackenzie. And I'm going to tell you guys, that's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And when you do something like this, you put out a CPO, and Bonnie here puts a CPO on me, that tells me one thing: she's scared. And she's scared of the truth. And I always said that the truth shall set you free. Now, Mrs. Bonnie here and Mr. Clyde here, one thing I can tell you about those two, they have never, ever, 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 they have never, ever, ever done anything for my daughter's case. They have never supported me. No support for Mackenzie or what I'm doing for Mackenzie. They have never, but 3 times, called the sheriff's office and 0 times have they contacted the leading detective. Leading detective that's on Mackenzie's case now. And he's been on it for 5 years. So in 5 years, since Mackenzie, 5 years, Bonnie, I gotta remember Bonnie has never called this detective in 5 years. He's never spoke to her on the phone. He's never spoke to her about anything. And she's never asked any questions about Mackenzie's death. And not only about Mackenzie's death, and after I say this, she'll probably make a phone call, but she's never even asked if this Bonnie was sleeping that night. She's never asked who tried to kill her. She's never asked. She's never asked the sheriff department. She's never asked the fire marshal. She's never asked ATF. She's never asked BCI. So, BCI has only spoke to her twice. ATF, 0. Fire marshal, twice. So, here's 3 times, here's no times, here's twice, here's 0, here's twice. Now, the other person, the other detective that ain't no longer investigating Mackenzie's case, 0. Let me think of who else has been involved in this. BCI, ATF, fire marshal, the other detective. Oh, yeah. Then the detective that passed away, I think she spoke to him 6 times. So, now, we've got 3 times Bonnie's has only talked to the sheriff. 0 times with the leading detective that's been on it since 5 years, since this detective passed away. 6 times with him. 2 times with the fire marshal, 2 times with BCI. That's a total of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 times. And 13 times she has spoke to every investigator that's been on Mackenzie's case. 13 times. Bonnie has. Okay? That's 13 times in 12 years of a homicide, arson.
I don't know what this.
Hold on.
I don't know what that means.
No, just. Yeah, he's just
Right,
explaining.
he's explaining.
He's explaining.
Right, okay.
He's explaining. Right. Okay, but I know what he's saying.
Okay.
I can answer that later.
Right. Okay.
So in 13 phone calls, or 13 phone calls, or some of them was they had to come in for an interview. So, but 13 phone calls in 12 years. 12 years. So you take 365 days, times that by 12. 4,380 days. 4,380 days. And she's made 13 phone calls. And I like that number 13, because everybody knows about the number 13. It's a bad luck number. So that's probably why she stopped at 13. But that's how many times Bonnie and Clyde, and I couldn't even tell you about Clyde. Clyde probably half of that. So 13 times, 12 years, 4,380 days. She made phone calls about Mackenzie's homicide. Tells me that somebody don't want to know what happened to their child at all. And now, out of that 4,300 and whatever it was, 350, right? Something like that.
380, I think.
Okay, well,
close.
Out of 4,000 days, I've called 4,000. That's the truth. And I have been in 18 interviews. 18 interviews. In the 18 interviews, I have never once had any of these people. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh no, that was me that went to see the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
FBI, BCI, ATF. I met them. Sheriff's Office. 4 detectives. A BCI, FBI, ATF, and the fire marshal. Alright. Now, 18 interviews. BCI, FBI, ATF, sheriffs, 4 detectives, fire marshal. And out of all these agencies, none, 0, has told me to stop what I'm doing. Not one has ever told me to stop. Not shut down my live feeds, not quit them, not anything. So, out of 18 interviews and being in the law and being over there with them and sitting in the chair with them, not one of them agencies has ever told me, stop the live feeds, or we're going to gag you, or we're going to stop what you're doing. And I can tell you why none of these agencies, because of me doing this for 12 years, I found 11 witnesses, a photo of the fire,
Coroner's report.
Coroner's report that was missing. I have found, let's see, coroner's report, 11 witnesses, photo of the fire. She ain't a witness, so I would say, I'm going to say 2 contacts, because they ain't witnesses, they're just contacts. So, that's what I've done in 12 years. I found 11 witnesses that were there the night of the fire. I found a witness that took the photo of the fire, which is over here on the wall, that took this picture right here. So I found that. I found the coroner's report that was missing. I also was able to identify that my child's clothes were destroyed.
Autopsy photos.
Oh yeah. I've gotten the autopsy photos, which proves this right here, that my child's clothes were destroyed and that they weren't wet or singed.
Exhumed.
And let's see, yeah, and I had her exhumed in 12 years. And because of all this right here, because of all this right here, in 12 years of being a father, a parent, I was able to put together what happened to my daughter. And because of that, 12 years of putting it together and getting close to what happened that night to my daughter, Bonnie and Clyde became this. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this court order, protection order, okay? I can prove to you guys, and I will prove it in the courts when I go to court. But that protection order has nothing to do with them being afraid of me. They ain't afraid of me doing something to them. I can tell you that right now. If I was to read everything to you guys in this order, it talks about more of this than anything. That's what it talks about, Mackenzie. And it wants this to be shut down. Okay? They ain't afraid of me. Because I ain't never been to Tip City. I've never given her address. So the only thing I've ever said was they lived in Tip City. I've said Tip City I don't know how many times. I've never been there. So I wouldn't even know where to go and look or whatever. I've never given Clyde's address of where he works or her address of where she works, Bonnie. Okay? Never done it. Never done it. And I can prove that. So, that ain't been done. But my biggest thing, what's important to me, is that she, Bonnie, is trying to shut down this. She's trying to shut down Mackenzie. She's trying to shut down the investigation. She is also, because it was mentioned in the order, it's mentioned in the order, she says that Mackenzie's Army where can we find that? Is helping, Mackenzie's Army is helping to take down Bonnie and Clyde. That's what it says in the order. It doesn't say Bonnie and Clyde, but it says Mackenzie's Army to help take down. Okay? Now, she also lists that of doing physical removal. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you guys, and I don't want anybody, that's something I want everybody to know, I don't want anybody threatening anybody on this Facebook page. If you do, your post will be removed. So if you're threatening, don't threaten. Bite your tongue like I've been biting my tongue. Trust me, in the end, Mackenzie's Army is going to win this. Okay. So, they also said that I physically mentioned that I would physically remove tattoo. Okay. Now, see, one problem is she never explained the tattoo to the judge. So, we're going to go over here. Whoa, here we go. Here we go. Alright. So, it says physically remove tattoo. That's what I made a threat. That's all I threatened was I would remove a tattoo. Okay, here's the tattoo. Alright, there's the tattoo of Mackenzie. Alright, So now, this tattoo, I said, and I did say on my live feed, I would remove that tattoo. But I did not say how I would remove it. See, that's the big question. How? How would I remove that tattoo? Okay, so with this how, is a big word. It's a big word in the courtroom. How is a big word in the courtroom. Because I never said how I would remove it. I just said I would remove the tattoo. And see, when I was doing my homework, while other people were trying to think of lies, Bonnie and Clyde was trying to think of how, you know how Bonnie and Clyde is. So, this big word how. How. I never said how I would remove it. So that's not a threat. Because if Bonnie and Clyde, or let me just say Clyde, let's say Clyde is involved with Mackenzie's death. Alright. He's involved in Mackenzie's death. Alright. So, being involved in Mackenzie's death, I have the right to ask the court to remove tattoo. Okay, I have that right. Because that is my daughter on Clyde's chest. And if Clyde is involved in the Mackenzie's death, and I'm her father, I have every right to go to court and ask for that tattoo to be removed. And I do have that right. I've already checked into it, looked it up on the laws, and I have the right to do that. Somebody say something?
No, no. Me and Sarah's eyeballing each other. Just.
So, to remove this tattoo, I am going to ask the court. See, I never said how I was going to remove it. Remember that word how? How. How that was going to get removed. Now, in her protection order, she said he commented of doing physical removal of tattoo on his, I guess, I don't know, whoever wrote this up did not spell. So they asked, so that's the only technically threat I made. Okay, well let me ask y'all something. I'm going to ask this question. If you was me and somebody murdered this beautiful girl right here, and that person that you believe is involved with that killing your child, and they went out and got a tattoo and put it on their chest of your child, which this tattoo is actually this picture right here, her school picture, okay? And then they post it on Facebook for everybody to see, and then the Bonnie, that nice lady Bonnie, the real nice lady Bonnie, she says, "Oh, another shot of it. I love it." Okay. So, and then they post it on Facebook. Alright, or they post it on MySpace. Yeah, back then it was MySpace. Sorry, not Facebook. MySpace. And they posted it. And then he also had it Clyde had it as his, like when you pulled up his page, it was his background. This is his background. Okay, so, you know what? You think I really care how that's going to get removed? I don't. I really don't care how it gets removed. And when I go and see the judge Thursday, and he sees this photograph right here, and I show it to him, and then I ask him one question. One question I'm going to ask that judge. And this is the question I'm going to ask that judge. If this was your child, how would you feel? That's the big word, feel. How would you feel? That was your child, and some asshole thought it was cute to put it on his chest and put it out there for the world to see. Okay? So, and if you look at the photograph here, see where it's shaded in, all around her neck and her face and everything else. Now, I want to show y'all a picture. Okay, this is a picture, and you don't have to get up close, just, but, okay, this is a picture of my daughter in the coffin, And right here, you can see where it's shaded around her face and all this stuff and everything else. So, I want to know how this photograph is any different than photographs that I show to the public. See? Now, I have every right to be pissed. And I'm pissed. And I could care less who thinks I shouldn't be pissed. He's not married to her. He's not married to Bonnie. They're not married. He only knew her maybe 1 year before her death. So, do I have every right to be pissed about that tattoo? You damn right I do. Am I going to tell a judge I'm pissed about it? You damn right I am. Now, and little Miss Bonnie, you know, Bonnie. And Bonnie has a sister. That's her private eye. Bonnie has a sister. And we're going to call Connie her sister. Okay, her sister, Connie. Now, Connie lives in Florida. Somewhere in Florida. But that's who is Bonnie's spy. That's who contacted her and so that they could do this right here. So, you know, Connie and Bonnie, you know, they think, what do you call, well, really, I'd say they're more like, what is that, Thelma and Louise?
Thelma and Louise, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Thelma and Louise. You know, they, you know, ain't it funny, there's always criminals. They follow just like, you know, the criminal movies, you know. Got Thelma and Louise, and that's her spy. But see, let me tell you something about little Miss Connie. Okay? We're going to go with Connie here. Little Miss Connie. Little Miss Connie was married to, let's say, let me give the little Connie a name. Her ex-husband a name. We'll say his name was Peter. Okay, little Miss Connie was married to Peter. Now, little Mr. Peter here, and I have it somewhere over here in my paperwork. I think I've already showed it on my live feed. But little Mr. Peter was charged with gross sexual imposition. Okay? Of this name right here. Okay? That's right. Connie's ex, Peter. I have the police report. Gross sexual imposition of my daughter, Mackenzie. So that tells you what Connie's all about. That's what Connie is. Okay? Now Connie, you know, protected her old man, Peter. So now Connie is now protecting Bonnie again because Bonnie protected Connie. And now Connie is protecting Bonnie of Mackenzie's death. See? And then you got the head honcho down in Kentucky, the head honcho, the chief. And she is the queen of them all. And the queen is the one that's wanting this shut down. Because the queen is going to lose 2 bees out of her hive. I know this is kind of hard to follow, but y'all will understand with this protection order, I got to be careful how I tell my story for right now until I go to court Thursday. And then we'll go back to the way it was. So, I just wanted everybody to understand what had happened. And that was, I got served with a protection order. And I'm not worried about the protection order because, like I said, I've never been to Tip City. I've never done anything. I've never knocked on her door. I never knocked on Bonnie's work. I never went in there and sat down and drank the beer. That's the protection order they gave her. And like I said, the protection order ain't even about her, protecting her. What it's about is shutting down Mackenzie. Well, yeah, it kind of is protecting her, because shutting me down, then, nobody else knows anything else of what's going on and why the people that did this to my child ain't going to be charged. But that ain't going to happen. I'm prepared. I'm ready. Now, just to show everybody how ready I am. All right. Little Miss Bonnie, the greatest, she's great. She's a lawyer, dentist, a doctor, coroner, deputy, president of the United States. This is how many times Bonnie has taken me to court. This is just Fayette County. Right there. 58 times to court. 58 times. This is Montgomery County. 13 times Montgomery County. Now I'm going to Miami County. So now I'm going to Miami County. Alright, so now we got Fayette County, $58 times. Montgomery County, 13 times. Now I'm going to Miami County. And hell, who knows where I'll be next? Probably Hawaii. Alright. And now we're going to put a 1 there. Because I don't think it'll go past that 1. But that's how many times I've been to court. Bonnie has taken me to court. 58 times, 13 times, 1 time. Out of all this right here. All this documents. Those are court papers. They go in my file there. Out of all these times I've been to court, Bonnie has won 0. Bonnie has won 0. She's never beat me. And she's had attorneys from Cincinnati, Fayette County, Mason, Ohio, and Montgomery County. She's had an attorney every time. Cincinnati, Fayette County, Mason, Ohio, Montgomery. All these attorneys, Montgomery County. All right, let's start with Mason, Ohio. Mason, Ohio, bam. Sent me a letter, said I will not represent Bonnie because she lies. I can't represent somebody that lies. And then on top of that, she owes her money. Fayette County, same thing, bam. We'll erase that one too. 2 lawyers in Fayette County don't want nothing to do with it, quit before we even went to court. Cincinnati, that was a good one. That was a good one. She actually hired a state's attorney from the state's attorney's office in Cincinnati. Top dog lawyer, man. I mean, good lawyer. Good lawyer. And when I met her, I said, you ain't going to win. That's what I told her. You ain't going to win. Why ain't I going to win? Because your client lies. Okay. Guess what? Went to court 3 times. And I won all 3 times. So, Cincinnati, gone. Gone. Bam. Now we got Montgomery County. 2 lawyers, didn't happen. They're gone. Gone. So, out of all these times I've been to court, little Miss Bonnie has won 0. Now, out of all these times I've been to court, which was 71 times, 71 times been to court. Out of 71 times being in court, I won 71 times. No lawyer. Because of one word, and one word only. Truth. See, truth always wins in the court of law. Facts always wins in a court of law. Evidence always wins in a court of law. So come Thursday, I promise Mackenzie's Army, and that's what I'm going to call it, because that's what it is. This is Mackenzie's Army. Mackenzie's Army is very strong. Very strong. And they ain't going to shut down Mackenzie's Army. Ain't going to happen. Now over here I wrote something I want everybody to read. And I think it's pretty unique. It says, an infinite God gives all of himself to each of his children. He does not distribute himself that each may have a part, but to each one he gives all of himself as fully as if there were no others. See, one thing I always try to tell people, the best lawyer you can have in court is God. God is the best lawyer you can have, because he's the only one that can make those decisions. And that's who I have in my corner, God. And then I have Mackenzie's Army. And we're strong. We're strong with Mackenzie's Army. We're strong with God. God is the best there is. And one thing God don't like is he don't like anybody that murders his child. See, Mackenzie was his child. So, good luck come Thursday. And like I said, you guys, and I mean it with the bottom of my heart, I will fight hard for justice for Mackenzie. I'm going to fight very hard. And I've got plenty of evidence to take with me. And, you know, one thing I want, though, is there's a page. It has, that it says, I stand for Mackenzie. And I'm hoping, before the night's over with, everybody will either send a heart or like that part on my Facebook to show to the judge that there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people out there that want justice for Mackenzie. That's what matters. And we're talking thousands. And we're only talking 4 that don't want justice. Well, no, sorry. Made an error. I don't want to make an error. 5 that don't want justice. That's Bonnie and Clyde, Wilbert, Connie in Florida, and the other one is the Queen. See, they don't want justice for Mackenzie. Those 5 right there don't want justice for Mackenzie. Those are the 5 that's trying to shut down justice for Mackenzie's live feeds and page. But, see, one thing you got to remember, I have some good supporters behind me. Real good supporters. Now I'm going to put up here who I have to support me. Steve Wilkos, Dr. Phil, Justice for Mackenzie, Murder of Mackenzie Taylor Branham, Gone but Not Forgotten, Nemus, POMC, and I'm going to tell you who else. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6. Okay? Now, there's 6 big things right there that support justice for Mackenzie. Next one is the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. And then all the other agencies involved. Because like I said, they've never shut me down or tried to shut me down or stop me for what I'm doing. So there's that. Fayette County Sheriff's Office, ATF, BCI, Fire Marshal, all them. Then I'm going to tell you another one. John Waller. Jen Bostick. Okay? These are big supporters of Mackenzie Taylor Branham. These supporters right here allow me to play any of their songs in Mackenzie's live feeds, videos, or anything we do for my daughter. Okay? Both of these are big-time singers. Okay? So there's the support of those 2 famous singers. So like I said, the Justice for Mackenzie page, I'm going to fight like I can. I'm going to prove to this judge what it's all about, why I did what I did. Now, after 10 years, and remember this, because anybody can say anything they want to say. One, there's no statute of limitation on murder. None. There's none. No statute of limitation on that word right there. Okay? Mackenzie was murdered. 10 years, it becomes cold. A cold case. Okay? After 10 years. After that 10-year mark, I have every right to find justice for my daughter. I have every right to investigate everything that's been done on my daughter's case, who was involved, who did what, and everything, after 10 years. Now, I didn't start fully investigating until 2017. Okay? I gave them 11 years. I gave them 10 years. The 11th year is when I started. 2017. And I have every right to investigate my daughter's death. I have every right. And I can't help that everything I do points to Bonnie and Clyde and Wilbur. Can't help that. Can't help it that that's where my investigation went. And the thing of it is, everything I have showed, every tape I have played, every paper I have shown has been facts. Facts. Not something I made up. Facts. And anybody that's watched all my live feeds, anybody that's heard me go live and explain my daughter's case, it's always been facts. Always. Always been facts. And like I said, if you can see right here, all these totes full. And I'm trying to find a big enough cart to take all this with me Thursday. And probably have to get a U-Haul. And if the Miami County courts have time, well then I hope you have a lot of time. I hope you're not got any other cases on the docket, because this is 12 years. And I have the right, since I'm being accused, I have the right to support and show why I don't believe I should be accused of what I didn't do. So, right now as it stands, I got served a protection order. And I don't want anybody to blame Fayette County, because that's not where I got served from. I got served from Miami County. Fayette County is the one that brought it to me because they knew where I lived. And they brought it to me, I signed for it, he handed it to me, and I read it. Fayette County just didn't do it because it's me. That's not the reason. They did it because they were told to serve me and bring it to me. I didn't refuse that. I could have closed my door. I could have done anything. But, like I said, I've been down that road that many times. I've been down that road. And every time she tries to pull me in with a protection order. Now, in 2004, yes, and I've said this on my live feed, did she put a protection order on me? Yes. But is there truth behind that protection order? No. Like I said, I swear, as God is my witness, she was naked, wanting to have sex with me, and I wouldn't do it, so she went down to crime victim witness back then in 2004 and said she was whatever, afraid of me, and they gave her a protection order. Never knew the truth about it, but she forgot one thing. I do have the documents where she also went to the courts and asked them to drop the CPO, and then 2 hours later had me arrested. And when I was arrested, she sits there and says in this protection order that I'm above the law. I'm above the law, and the protection order, I was arrested. But she didn't explain to the judge why I was arrested. But I have that document, so why I was arrested. And they dropped it down to a disorderly conduct because I didn't do what she said I did. And supposedly what I was supposedly have done was call her on a telephone and threaten her. That was it. They arrested me. Fayette County Sheriff's Office arrested me, bonded out, went to court. Judge Pontius was at that time the judge, and we went to court, and he even asked her in the courtroom. He said, do you want to still drop the CPO order on him? And her little Clyde, he was in the background, sitting up in the, those chairs up in the courtroom, and he's like, and she said, no, I want to keep it on him. That was it. That was it. Zero. And I can tell you right now, she can sit there and lie to Clyde all she wants to. She can keep lying to Clyde and keep lying to Clyde, but she took me out she picked me up on my protection order, took me out to some ballpark in New Holland. There's a little baseball field down at this road. She took me down there, talked to me, kissed me. Yeah, Clyde, she kissed me. Yep. Wanted that little perfect White House and a little picket fence and all this stuff. Yep. Then she took me, picked me up another time and on my protection order and took me down to Hyman Park. Sat down there with me, chit-chatted. Hey, how can we work this out? I want to see my kids, da-da-da-da-da-da, and you got the kids, and I want to be, that little perfect little family, and da-da-da-da-da, and that was it. So she ain't afraid of me. She ain't afraid of me. And I'm going to tell you guys, she ain't afraid of me. What she's afraid of is this word right here. That's what little Miss Bonnie is afraid of. Murder and arson. That's what she's scared of right there. Ain't me. Ain't me. I ain't gone to her house. I don't even know where she lives other than Tip City. I ain't gone to her job. I ain't gone to his job. Nothing. I've invited him to my house. And I don't think that was a threat when I invited him to my house. I just said, hey, come and tell your story.
Yeah.
I've invited her to the sheriff's office. And she's told me to fuck off. So, I'm still trying to find the threat. Only thing I can remember that I ever said on my live feed is, I'm coming to get you. And when I say I'm coming to get you, we're right back to that word again. How? How am I coming to get you? Well, Mackenzie's Army is coming to get you to put you in prison the rest of your life. Because see, here's the thing. I don't want my Bonnie, my ex-Bonnie, to be killed. I don't even want the death penalty. And I know a lot of people are going to say, what? What? You don't want the death penalty? Nope, I don't want the death penalty. I'm going to tell you why I don't want the death penalty. I want Bonnie to go to prison for the rest of her life. And the reason why, I want her to suffer like my little girl did the night of that fire. See? And the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, ATF, all of them can witness this 110% that I always said, I don't want the death penalty. I want life in prison so that she suffers, Bonnie suffers just like Mackenzie did. That's what I've asked for. Okay? Never once did I say I'd go get her and do something to her. That ain't what I said. On none of my life feeds. I just said I will come and get you. Justice is coming. That's what I believe I said in all my life. Is justice is coming. I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get Clyde. I'm coming to get Wilbert. I'm coming to get you. Now, Wilbert, I did say I would go get him and bring him back. Bring him back to Ohio. Okay? That's not a threat. Bringing him back ain't no different than if they put out what do you call that? Wanted,
APB.
in case he don't
APB.
show up, or they can't find him, and he's wanted. Ain't no different than anybody going out and finding him and bringing him in. So there's the protection order. We know that Connie down in Florida helped Bonnie to get this. We know that the Queen down in Kentucky helped Bonnie and Connie to get this. We know Wilbert helped them get this. But this ain't going to happen. I'm telling you, I'm fighting like you ain't never seen a fight happen. I've got so much evidence to show this judge, and it's not going to happen. I have every right to find out who killed my daughter. Because one thing I can tell you, I had custody of my daughter. Okay? Just because I let her go stay with her mom for 3 months and then I bury her in the care. And remember that word, in the care. See, that's another thing. In the care of the mother, Bonnie, I lost my daughter. Okay? But Bonnie made sure she saved her life. She made sure she got out. She made sure she got a pair of shoes. Bonnie got a pair of shoes. She made sure those shoes were, her feet, she had to make sure her feet were warm, and that's what she got. So, ain't nobody gonna tell me I cannot do what I'm doing and investigate my daughter's death. And I promise you guys, I promise you, I'm gonna fight, and I'm gonna fight hard, and when I come out of that courtroom, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for justice for my daughter. I am so close, it's unreal. But like I said, only reason Bonnie did what she did with this protection order is because Bonnie's brother came forward. And when Bonnie's brother came forward and he started talking and he started remembering that night of the fire, because Bonnie's brother was there at that house the night of the fire, all of a sudden, whoa, man, we got to shut him up. Or, how can I shut up my brother? Because it's hard to shut up my brother. The only way I can shut up my brother from talking is to shut down Mackenzie. It is sad. It is sad because why would you shut down the investigation of your daughter? She knows as well as I do it wasn't going anywhere until I started investigating Mackenzie's death. When I started investigating Mackenzie's death, it started moving forward. It has moved forward for 12 years. In this side, on this side of the fence. Why would you shut it down? Don't you care who killed your child? Don't you care who set your house on fire and did this to your child and burn her? I can't understand why a mother, Bonnie, would shut down an investigation of who took our child life. She got to live 8 years. 8 years. And our job as a parent, one of the main things we're supposed to do is protect. Number 2, we're supposed to give our life to save our child's life. And I have never seen any parent out there where a child's sick and maybe needs a liver or needs this, say, wait a minute, man, no, I'm going to let my child die because I don't want to die. Man, you never think. There is no hesitation. Ain't no hesitation whatsoever. You make that choice like that. There's no questions asked when it comes to your child. None. Zero. So, I sit here and I think, man, why? Why are you trying to shut down Mackenzie? Your child, your daughter, And you're trying to shut her down so that we can't get justice for her. And the only reason you would do that, is one, the biggest word of all. That's the word right there. Only reason you would shut down this investigation on my child. That's the one word right there. That's what Bonnie and Clyde and Wilbert are. Right there. That's it. That's the main word right there. And I'm going to prove it come Thursday. That is the main reason you're shutting down Mackenzie's case. Now, like I said, I have protested. I have gone after the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. I have gone after BCI. I have gone after Montgomery County Coroner's Office. I have gone, and not once, not one time, have they ever filed anything to put a gag order and a cease and desist on Mackenzie's case. Because let me tell you something, oh yeah, I forgot about the
commissioners, yeah.
Yeah, and the commissioner's exact words were, they would be stupid. Well, they would be, not stupid, I don't want to say the word stupid. They would be, how did he say it?
The biggest mistake you ever made.
Yeah, it would be a mistake.
Big mistake.
A big mistake if they would ever refuse something to do with Mackenzie Taylor Branham. And I'm going to tell you something. You know why they said that? Because that's 3 fathers, grandfathers, that have grandchildren and children who see it the same way I see it and say that would be a mistake to stop anything that has to do with Mackenzie. And if 3 commissioners and a judge and a sheriff and a fire marshal and the FBI agents and the BCI agents and the Montgomery County coroner and all of them support what I've done in 12 years, and the only one that has a problem with this is Bonnie. Bonnie's the only one that has a problem. Bonnie, Clyde, and Wilbert. They all have a problem with what's coming out in Mackenzie's case. Now, I know back then, John Walsh, he did the same thing. It was, you know, he didn't have the live feeds as we do today, the cameras, the phones and stuff, but he did exactly the same thing I did, John Walsh did. He fought. He fought the law. He fought them all. He fought so hard for his child that was murdered. He fought it. And I sit here and I think about it every day. What did he do to get what he needed done? I've read all his stories and everything to figure it out. You know, but, you know, no one shut John Walsh down. And like I said, for somebody to shut down an investigation, to try to shut down an investigation, is only because you're guilty. That's it. You're guilty. There is no other way you can look at this at all. At all. And, like I said, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I'm not. I hope come Thursday that the judge understands and considers what I'm doing and sides with me. But it is a judge. You never know how the outcome's going to be. But I am prepared. I am ready for this fight. It's not like I ain't been in court with her before. Like I said, I know her very well. I know how she acts. I know how she demonstrates. I know how she explains stuff. It's not going to be hard to catch her in certain things. But like I said, I've read that protection order from top to bottom, every page. And when you go into the part where she's requesting what she's requesting from the judge, it's all about Mackenzie. And it's shutting her down. It has nothing to do with, there's not one word in there that says, I'm afraid because he did this to me, or he did that. Nowhere in there. There ain't one word in there that says anything about me threatening her. None. Zero. Not, I came to her house or I threat. There ain't even a police report nowhere in Miami County at all that says I did anything towards her at all. It's only about Mackenzie and shutting down the live feed. And the only reason you would shut down that live feed and shut down my investigation and shut down Mackenzie's Army is because of one reason only, and that is the parties trying to shut it down are guilty. It is, man, you couldn't paint it any clearer on that picture. You can't paint it any clearer. So, like I said, I go to court Thursday. Hopefully everybody can send out some prayers, not only for me, for Mackenzie. Hopefully the prayers will get to the judge. Prayers are strong. We'll get justice for Mackenzie. I can tell you right now, I did meet with the Fayette County Sheriff's Office the same day I got served. Hour later, I had to be there for a meeting. We discussed a lot of stuff. It is moving forward. I can tell you that now officially. Mackenzie case is moving forward. Things are going to happen. When they happen, I don't know. I made a promise to them. I'm going to keep my promise to them. They made a promise to me. I know they're going to keep their promise. We were there 3 hours, almost 3 hours, meeting. So it is moving forward. Things are going to happen. It takes time. They explained some stuff to me. So we're moving the right way. Right now we got a speed bump come Thursday. Hopefully we'll overcome that speed bump. Once we overcome that speed bump, we're going to move forward again. But I can tell you one thing. Even if the judge sides with her and shuts me down, I know it ain't going to stop Mackenzie's case. Because to stop Mackenzie's case, you got to shut down 1 million people. There's 1 million followers that are in Mackenzie's Army. 1 million. And then you've got another close to 100 in another country. So I don't know how they do that. I guess they have to serve the protection order clear across Canada border lines. I don't know how they do that. But she ain't going to shut down Mackenzie's Army. It ain't going to happen. We're strong. There's a reason there's a Mackenzie's Army. Because of Mackenzie's Army, it's kept me alive. It's kept me going forward. They push me. You got children that went to school with Mackenzie, teachers and everything. They're all in that Mackenzie's Army. So that's a lot of people to shut down. So I don't know where my son is. My son Douglas.
Linda says shh. She said don't say that too loudly.
What?
I don't know.
My son?
No. She said don't say that too loudly and then put LOL. Linda did.
Oh. Hey, squirrel. Hey, see if my son's here. Will you?
Always looking for a nut.
I don't want to give no names, man. I don't want to give no names.
That was wrong. They're asking about shirts if you want to fill in time.
If what now?
Shirts. Mackenzie's Army shirts.
What about them?
They want to know if we're doing them.
Yes, we are going to do the shirts.
Are we going to do the ones you posted? Or
probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it, and then I'm going to pre-order them. Pre-order the shirts. Alright, hold on. Just stay right here. This is I got somebody special. I got somebody that I discussed it with him and everything, and he was forward of what he wants to say. And I love him to death. He knows that. He's a great guy, and he's a special guest. I got to put it that way. But he knows I love him with all my heart and everything, and it made me proud tonight that he wanted to do what he wanted to do, and I want to turn it over to him. He's a little shy, but I love him. And he knows I love him with all my heart. So I'm going to pull this chair over here. Over here. Just where he talked?
No, I can't hear you either. Got your finger on the mic?
No.
No sound. Can't
There it
hear.
goes.
Can you hear me now? Are we good?
Wasn't my fault.
Is she behind you? Is we good, Squirrel?
Wait a minute.
It's good now.
Okay.
Alright, sorry, Bub. You guys. Alright, well, this is my son, Douglas. This is Mackenzie's brother. And my other son ain't here tonight, but this is my son. And he came over tonight, and he heard that I was going to do a live feed, and he wanted to speak and tell you guys how he feels and about not only the loss of his sister, but what I'm doing for his sister. Go ahead.
Okay, as I said, I fully support my dad and what he's doing with justice for Mackenzie, and I just wanted to state that I've seen what I've seen over the years is that when like being beside all of this with my dad, that you only have your word and family that can like help you get through all of this. And we've seen that like with the other half of my family, that people have given up like distrust in the family and like lies that have been proven lies. So basically untrusted people. That's what I'm trying to say is you just can't trust some people.
And this is very hard for my son. Like I said, this is something he wanted to do to let people know that, you know, he supports what I'm doing for his sister, for my daughter, for this community. He graduates this year, and you know, as his dad, you know, just not only with the justice for Mackenzie, but I've been there for him. I've been there for his brother. I've stuck by them, and they know this. They know the love I have for them. They know the love I have for their sister, and it's great that your son believes in you and he believes in justice, and that's all that matters here with me and my son. And I wish my other son was here, but we just want justice. We just want justice for Mackenzie. And like I said, even though you put a protection order on me and you shut me down, there's still two other sons that are Mackenzie's brother, and they're going to fight for justice. They're going to pick up where I leave off. If something happens to me, they're going to pick up where I left off. They want justice just as bad as anybody else. You know, they were young when this happened, but in 12 years, they've learned a lot. They've seen a lot. They've seen my health go down. You know, my sons asked me, you know, Dad, take a break. You know, my other sons asked me to take a break. But every time you go to take a break, you know, something else comes up. And they, you know, like I said, he's come to me and he said, I'm glad, you're doing what you're doing, No one understands what happened that night. But my sons both know that I'm out there trying to get justice for their sister and my daughter. And they see that the mother has never come on this side, Bonnie, has never come on this side of the fence and supported any of us. So that's the main thing. He wanted to do this tonight. He wanted to show that, he supports what I do. He has no problem with what I do. He understands why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's a lot for my son. And it hurts, that he loves me that much that he said, hey, I want to, Dad, I'm tired. I want to support you. And that's the main goal is, there's 3 of us, left, a voice for Mackenzie. And he knows as well as I do, it's always Dad. Dad's fighting this, Dad's fighting this, Dad's fighting this. And he sits there just like he said right there. His other family, he never sees nothing. He sees no fighting. He sees no trying to get justice. And he understands that, we can't help where the evidence and the facts point. We can't help that. We cannot change it. We can't make it go any other way. But I know he loves his aunts and his uncle. 2 of his uncles. I know he loves his aunts on the other side of that fence. But at the same time, he don't see nobody fighting. He sees just his dad. And, he told me the other day that, he was glad that Jamie came forward. Jamie don't have one on me. That Jamie came forward and Jamie wants to see justice for Mackenzie. And that made him really, it hit him really good. And that's why he made the decision tonight to come on here and say, I'm proud of my dad. I'm proud of what my dad's doing. I'm proud of my dad's live feeds. I'm proud of my dad's trying to get justice for our sister. And that's a lot. That takes a lot for your son to come forward and say, he supports me. Because any time my kids would have said they didn't want this, I'd have shut it down immediately. But that's not what they want. They want to see justice for Mackenzie. They want us to be able to have peace, and we want to be able to have the time to go to Mackenzie and say we've done everything we could. We love you. We miss you. Rest, in peace, baby girl. Fly high. And we ain't never had that opportunity. And it's taken a lot from us. It's took a lot from my son. It's took a lot from me. That there's people out there that did this horrible crime to our sister and my daughter, and we're just trying to get justice. And if Bonnie wants to shut me down, she's not only shutting down me, but she's shutting down her son. She's shutting him down because he wants justice for Mackenzie just as bad as I do. And I believe my other son, he's not here right now, but I believe he wants the same thing. And so we're going to keep fighting. And I love you, and thank you for wanting to come on and say what you said. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah. Go. Thank you, buddy. So like I said, man, Mackenzie's Army's strong. And come Thursday when I go to court, I hope that I can convince the judge the same thing, that we're just here for justice for Mackenzie, and we hope that we can move forward with this, and that bump in the road we can overachieve it, and we can get past it and keep moving forward. I think we're right there, that close to it. My son, like I said, you got to understand how much, that touches a father heart, that your son, comes over and says, Dad, I want to say what I want to say. And I understand what he was saying about the truth and the lies and what he sees and everything else. And he don't see Bonnie doing anything. And they say that. And that's the thing. I've had custody of these kids, man, since they were 4, 5, and 6. And I know my children. I've lived with my children. I've fought battles with my children. I made sure I got 2 boys that lost a sister. One's already graduated, and I got another one graduated. I think I did a pretty good job as a father when I lost my child during all these years, and for somebody to shut me down and try to stop me for getting justice, you know, you don't think I wanted to see Mackenzie graduated? I miss it every day. You don't think I miss her birthdays, and I miss her maybe got married and could have walked her down the aisle? The only thing that good that came out of this, and I'm not saying this in a mean way, the only thing that come good out of this is my daughter Mackenzie has my last name. When she passed, she kept the Branham name, and I don't, you know, she don't have, you know, she didn't get married, so she didn't carry somebody else's name. She actually has my name, and Mackenzie Branham, that's her name, and I have every right as Donald Branham to fight for Mackenzie Branham. She has my name. She's my child. I have done everything I can. I've never turned away from my children. You know, yeah, I've had, you know, a couple CPOs on me. Yeah, I've had, but you guys, no one understands the life I have lived with Bonnie. No one will ever understand that life. No one. But I can tell you one thing. My life has gone good. It has gone uphill. You know, I like I said, I'm all about children. I'm all about justice. And for her to try to shut me down, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. And I'm not saying this in a mean way, but if I've got to go do jail time because I'm not going to stop fighting for Mackenzie, then I'll go do jail time. That's my kid. And if that's where I've got to be, don't think you know, I can fight for justice in jail just as much as I can fight for justice out here. So, you know, I just hope that Bonnie is proud of herself, and that she thinks she's this greatest thing that walks the face of the earth. And but she don't know, not only hurting my daughter, but you're hurting your sons, because you don't want to come and you don't want to fight for justice, because the justice points to the guilty side of you. And we're not going to stop. And that right here, my son that just left, he's not a camera type person. But
that took strength.
Right there took a lot of strength.
That took a lot.
And a lot of heart. And that's what's going to keep me fighting. That's what's going to keep me fighting, is this boy right here. And I fought for them many times. I never gave up when I was going through all the custody battles. And like I said, I proved it, you guys, 58 times, man, in court. But I kept my kids. I kept my kids. And as bad as she wants to paint this picture of me and make me look like the monster, and because I post pictures of my daughter, and she wants to play the victim on everything, I still got my kids. I still got to see them graduate. She wasn't even at her one son's graduation, didn't even show up. But like I said, I was there. I saw my son walk that stage. I'm going to watch this son walk that stage. I'm there. I've always been there for my kids. Always. I've never went on vacation. I never sent them a postcard. I was there when two young boys were sitting on my lap, crying and crying and crying because they didn't understand what just happened to their sister. Well, these two little boys, I made them men. They became men. And when they became men, they're understanding now the truth. And you're not going to take it away from them. There's nothing out there that you can prove to make these boys think any other way. And a lot of stuff I kept from my children for years. There's certain things I did show them. There's certain things I did give them. But one thing they know, I mean, who wouldn't want a father that fights so hard? I would.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want a father that fights so hard for their sister, fights hard for them?
Yep.
Always there. Whether you're sick, dying, I'm there, man. And they know that. One thing my boys know is no matter how many times we get into fights or arguments or anything, they always know my dad loves me. I can tell you that, guarantee you that. They know I love them. And for my son to sit here and talk about the other side of the family and the ones that he cares about love and that he don't understand why they're not over here. And I mean, man, it's not like I'm lying about anything I've done. It's facts. They're facts. You know, the statements are from Bonnie. The tape recordings are from Bonnie. Everything is from Clyde. They're facts. They're facts. It's not like I'm just making this up and writing it myself and saying, hey, this is who I believe did it. I honestly, in the beginning, did not think it was her. I did. From the get-go. Me and my mom, 71-year mom, fought. Because I'm like, there's no way that, Mom. There's no way, Mom. I was married to this woman for 11 years. There's no way. We fought. My mom and me fought, man. And then, as facts started coming, and as more I kept digging, and more I kept getting into it, and then I kept hearing the lies from that person that for 11 years said, I love you. And I kept hearing them. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's not what you said last week. That's not what you said yesterday. I can't help where the evidence points. And then as I started to work on this and started putting it together and started collecting stuff and started banging on doors and started walking into agencies and saying, I'm the dad. I'm here. I want my daughter's stuff. I want to know what happened to my kid. That's what a parent does. They don't sit at home and say, well, hopefully one day they'll call me and say they caught somebody. I ain't found a parent yet that does that. I ain't found a parent yet that does that. But then again, I'm not going to say Bonnie's a parent, but Bonnie sits at home thinking, man, somebody will call. You know, and they see, and these boys see, they see that not only, and this is a good point, I've said this 1,000 times, if you did not do this crime, you would not tell the first lie. If you did not do this crime and you was asleep in bed, Bonnie, like you said you was, then you would not only want to know who killed Mackenzie, but you would want to know who tried to murder you and your live-in person, Clyde. And you would want to know that. And not one time of all the investigators I have talked to have you ever asked that, have you found the person or think you know who killed my child, but also try to kill me. You never asked that question. Now I'm giving you the answer, so you'll probably go ask it now so you can say, see, I did call and ask, you know. But like I said, I'm not going to stop. This is justice right here. Justice for Mackenzie. And you got to understand, there are so many beautiful gifts that's how many people love Mackenzie. This is a gift. This is a gift. This is a gift. So many gifts. That's how many people you got to battle. I'm not just one person. I'm not just one person on this. There are so many. And the thing of it is, the thing about Mackenzie is she has put the sunshine on a lot of people's hearts. And a lot of people will come together, and a lot of people have met for the first time, and now are family, and we all look out for each other, and our kids play with each other. And I mean, she has done wonderful, wonderful things through Mackenzie. She's made people see things differently in their family. She's made people think different of how they see their children. She's got people that go to bed now and say prayers with their kids, or they go to bed and they give their kids a kiss and a hug that they've never done in 10, 15 years. My daughter has spread sunshine clear across, clear up into Canada. Clear up into Canada. Even when it's snowing in Canada, them women up there said it's warm. You know why it's warm, Donald? Because Mackenzie's shining over us. Man, that girl has got powers like you wouldn't believe. And if you think in your right mind you're going to shut us down, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Because that girl ain't going to let it happen. Mackenzie ain't going to let it happen. She is not going to let it happen. Because that child wants more than anybody justice for herself. She did not deserve what happened to her that night. She did not deserve it. She did not deserve to go to bed. She did not deserve to be murdered. She did not deserve to have the house set on fire and come out of that fire that way. You know, so Mackenzie, like I said, is very strong. She's brought a lot of people together. She's got a big heart, you know, and me and my son that was just here and my other son are her voice. We're her voice. What judge is going to shut down the voice of Mackenzie?
Yep.
Think about that. You got to shut down the voice of Mackenzie. And even if you shut us three down, you still got millions of voices. Millions of voices out there that's going to pick up. Because so many people, Mackenzie has touched their hearts and brought them into this. And they're fighting just as hard as I am. Millions. Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Indiana, Canada,
Texas, didn't we send it?
Texas,
Yeah.
Texas, yes.
Oklahoma,
Maryland.
California, Maryland. Wow.
I think there might have
Wow.
been a shirt that went to Alaska too.
They
Alaska.
did send one to
So,
Alaska.
man, I mean, boy, that's a lot of protection orders. That's a lot. I hope they got a lot of time, because I'm gonna tell you that's where you got to go. And I'm gonna tell you another one. There's another girl. She hasn't posted it yet, but she's going to. She's already got, I think there's 18 countries, something like that, somewhere around 8 countries, and she's already got almost like 37 states that have held up a card that says Justice for Mackenzie in that state, in front of their monuments. And eventually it's going to get posted as soon as she gets all 50 states. So like I said, Mackenzie's huge. Huge. She's everywhere. Everywhere. Millions. 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 And when I say millions, I'm not exaggerating. It's millions. Millions. And that girl has touched a lot of people's hearts. And hopefully one day she'll touch their hearts, of the ones that know what happened that night, and they'll come forward. But like I said, it's going to happen no matter what. Justice for Mackenzie will happen. This is the year 2018, and it's already proven. It's already proven. We're only 4 months into this. January, February, March. 3 months.
3 months.
3 months into this, and already I got guilty parties trying to shut me down. 3 months into 2018, the year that we said it will be Justice for Mackenzie. 3 months into it, bam. Look at it. I told you, that child is strong. That baby girl is strong. Strong. Every time something, she comes to me. And when she tells me, Dad, don't give up, I don't give up. When that child tells me, I love you, Dad, for what you're doing, she loves me. My son loves me for what I'm doing. We're strong. We are strong. Mackenzie's army is strong. Putting it on that protection order and putting down Mackenzie's army. And like I said, hopefully nobody's made any threats.
No.
I don't want any threats because I can, I got a protection order. And but Mackenzie's army, the mistake you made by putting that word in your documents here. And we're not gonna lie. Mackenzie's armies, we're not gonna lie. We did say we're coming after you. We're coming after you for justice.
Justice, yep.
See, you didn't tell it all. You didn't tell it all. And another thing that she's asking for, I'll go ahead and read that because I thought it. She said all social media outlets with any information on the parties be taken down. All graphic images of deceased daughter be taken down and not shared with unsuspecting minors or family members might come across them. Okay. Only problem I have with that, with the minors. Anybody and everybody knows you have to be 18 years old to be on Facebook. Yes, there's a lot of teenagers out there that's on it. Yes, there's a lot of kids on there because they lie about their age or they put whatever date on there to get on Facebook. So, but by law, I am not showing my graphics to minors. I don't send it to minors. I don't send it to their page or nothing. It's on my page, and by law, I only believe that 18-year-olds are on my, and if you look at my friends list, I think there's a couple minors, but other than that, There ain't no minors on my page. I don't accept them. I don't. They're not there to look at this. So if you're a minor and you saw this, then it's your fault for being on Facebook. Because you have to technically be 18 years old when you sign up for Facebook. That's what it says. That's their rules. But also the man that owns Facebook page, Mark, also said, I do not have to remove my photographs. I do not have to take down my live feeds. They check them. They make sure everything's cool. And we go with it. So I forgot that I have Facebook supported. And they did write me a message and said they support everything I do. So, I don't know what else to tell you. Like I said, Facebook said I didn't have to take down my pictures. And we're good to go. Like I said, another thing I always do, except for my daughter in the coffin, which it's not a horrible picture, but all her other pictures, I've always made sure, sure that I've always put pictures of my daughter that are good pictures of her, and then there's a plus sign. You have to hit that plus sign to see the other pictures on my Facebook page. But on my live feeds, I show everything.
With that being said, I was scrolling through Facebook today, and there was a picture of a little girl in her coffin with her dad leaning over her, kissing her.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a bad thing.
No. And just like me, well, not me, but let me see how. Just like Santa Claus went to the cemetery, kissed her headstone. It's not a bad thing. But I guess it was. To me, it's not a bad thing. My daughter believed in Santa Claus. Santa Claus visited my daughter. Santa Claus leaned over and kissed her headstone. You know, it is what it is. I'm not going to stop. Like I said, my main goal is justice for Mackenzie. This is about Mackenzie. This ain't about me. It ain't, and I've said this 1,000 times. I'm not here to be a hero. I'm not here to be honored for anything. I'm here to get justice for Mackenzie. I'm here to share the truth with the community. I'm here to get the community that might know what happened that night come forward. I don't know that somebody was driving down the road that night that lives clear in Oklahoma, and they see my live feed and they say, oh my gosh, when I went by that night, I saw this. You don't know. That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason I do these live feeds, is to catch somebody that was around at that time of night, up that night, that saw something.
That's worked.
And that is not against the law.
Yep. And it's worked. Look how much you found out.
And that's right. It worked. Look how many witnesses have contacted me. Look how many people have got on my Facebook page and messaged me later and said, hey, please call me. I mean, you know, why? Why would you shut it down? Unless one reason would only be to shut down Mackenzie's page is guilt. There is no other way to look at this. That's the God's honest truth. And for anybody that don't want justice for that little girl, I feel sorry for you when it's time for you to go and meet your maker. I feel sorry for you when you go meet your maker. So, like I said, I wanted to explain to everybody what happened to me, that I got, slammed with a protection order, and that I'm not going to quit. I've never quit. I'm going to fight. If I get jail time, I get jail time. Hopefully I don't. But this is what matters right here. Justice for Mackenzie. This is what matters. That's it. And if anybody that don't accept it, I don't know what else to tell you. You don't have to come on my live feeds. You don't have to come on my page. You don't have to look at anything I post or write or say. If they are innocent of this crime, they'll prove me wrong. And I've been doing this for 12 years and I'm still waiting on that proof. I'm still waiting on that proof to prove me wrong. I do not know what I'm talking about. 12 years, still waiting for proof. And right now, with the law enforcement and all them, I ain't had them prove me wrong. I ain't had nobody say, hey, Donald, you don't know what you're talking about, man, you need to quit doing. I ain't had it. So, this one goes out to Connie in Florida. Take this, Send it to Bonnie. Let her know I've been live tonight. Hallelujah. Mackenzie, that's my baby, and that's all that matters. Mackenzie Taylor Branham. That's what matters, and it matters that the people that did this that night on April 27, 2006, go to prison. That's it. That's all that matters. I want to make sure this never happens again. And that's another thing neat too. That just shows you that this Bonnie and Clyde, they don't even care if it's somebody else that did this, that they could do this to somebody else's family and their child. If they're innocent, and then I find out who did it, and the law finds out who did it, and they put them away, that means another child gets to sleep that night. Because they're trying to shut it down. They're trying to keep somebody free that walked in and did this. That murdered Mackenzie. They're trying to get them free. They're trying to let them so it can happen to somebody else's family, somebody else's child. Think about that. Think about what Bonnie's doing. She is trying to keep the person that did this free, that could do it to another child. Remember that. So all I ask for, come Thursday, I'll post something, but I ask for prayers for Mackenzie and for me, that we get justice, and the judge will look at this and understand this, and he'll allow it to go on. I hope he does. All I can do is go in there with my evidence and fight like I have fought many, many times. I've never gave up. I've never given up. I've taken breaks for health reasons, for family reasons, but I've never quit on my daughter. And I'm proud of what I do. I'm proud of who I am. And I think my daughter's proud of me. I could say Mackenzie probably thinking she had the greatest dad in the world. And when my time comes, I'll be with her. I will get to enjoy Mackenzie. I will get to see my daughter. So, like I said, that's what tonight was all about, to let everybody know
I'm looking for this.
what was going on. Give me my eyeball. I mean,
Didn't know today would be our last.
tell him come
That I'd
march
have
for
to
Mackenzie.
say goodbye to you so fast. I'm so numb, I can't feel anymore. Praying you just walk back through that door and tell me that I was only dreaming. You're not really gone as long as I believe. There will be another angel around the throne tonight. Love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of you around the throne tonight. Always made my troubles feel so small, but you were always there to catch me when I fall. In a world where heroes knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight, saying I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight.
I'll remember some about it.
Alright, before we go, I want one, if I could ask one big favor, and that is everybody is still on my live feed, if you could just tell Mackenzie you love her and that we are strong. And that's all I ask. Just let Mackenzie know tonight that we all love her and we're going to keep this fight going. And so if everybody could just post, I love you Mackenzie, or love you baby girl, just let her know how much we love her. And I appreciate everybody. I thank you guys so much. Like I said, this is very hard for me. But 12 years, I'm used to this. I'm used to Bonnie and Clyde and Wilbert. I'm used to it. I'm used to the fight. And come Thursday, hopefully God is in our corner and we get the justice that we need there. And then we move forward with this investigation. I believe after my meeting with the Fayette County Sheriff's Office that it is moving forward. There is a good detective on this, and they're listening now, and we're going to move forward. And that's all I ask for, is to move forward. And so I thank everybody. I love you guys with all my heart. And Mackenzie loves every one of you guys. So thank you for tonight. And we'll pray hard this week. Come Thursday, I'll go battle at 9 o'clock in the morning. Thank you guys. I love you.